Hi, welcome to the AIM on MS&T podcast. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, first off, welcome. We are happy to have you. Second, AIM stands for Academia, Industry, and Military, which are the main sectors that make up Central Florida's modeling, simulation, and training community. On our podcast, we talk with different leaders in the MS&T community. We also talk about all the cool and innovative things their organizations are doing, trends that affect the MS&T field as a whole, and keep you up to date with what's going on. If you're not a part of the modeling and simulation community, we hope to share some insights about this important sector of Orlando's economy, which ranks just behind the theme park and hospitality industries. This podcast is brought to you in part by Symmetry. Symmetry engineers practical solutions to difficult problems with an agile and purpose-driven focus in modeling, simulation, and training. For information, check out symmetry.us. Their link will be below. I'm your host, Kate Finkel, and today we're talking with George Cheros, CEO of the National Center for Simulation, also known as NCS. This is George's second time on our podcast. If you want to learn more about NCS and some background on George, make sure to click our page and check out episode number 2. Without further ado, welcome back, George.
Thanks. It's great to be back. I guess I'm your first repeat offender.
Yes.
Looking forward to this discussion.
We're reading about lots of changes in the Department of Defense that filters down to the various services and to the lower levels. We all know that change is not a bad thing and that we must look for effective and efficient ways to do our jobs. Given that some of the reported changes may have a significant impact on the MS&T industry, can you talk about some of the things we are reading about in the news and seeing on social media and how those might impact MS&T?
Sure. As the audience knows, our role in the modeling, simulation, and training industry is to support our military and industry and help our ecosystem grow. We've seen the articles and news stories, and we've had a close watch on the proceedings. As you indicated, change can be a good thing, and it can also be difficult at times. During this time of review and recommendation, we are really looking for positive implications, and our role is to help identify the benefits of our industry and to share the modeling, simulation, and training story. We understand that everything is on the table in the Department of Defense, and it's important to take a comprehensive look from time to time. For instance, one of the positive changes that we see being discussed are how the government will procure and acquire military equipment and training. We believe industry has long been supportive of a better process, and we hope that's one of the outcomes. With regard to the military organizations that comprise Team Orlando, we believe that we really need to tell the story about the unique partnership that exists and what it means for our warfighters. Team Orlando is the simulation headquarters for the Army, Navy, and Marines, and the Air Force has a significant policy presence in Orlando so they can collaborate with the other services. Just recently, Space Force began relocating their Space Training and Readiness Command, otherwise known as STARCOM, to Patrick Space Force Base. A primary reason for selecting Patrick for this most important mission was its proximity to Team Orlando and the other branches of the military. Our ecosystem represents everything that is positive about collaboration and cooperation. During my travels and other various meetings that I am involved with, I constantly hear that there's nowhere else in the country that has the open dialogue between all branches of the military and also with industry and academia like we have here in Central Florida. We have seen the press and social media activity relating to potential actions regarding the downsizing or elimination of PEO stride by the Army. The Army has officially said that no decisions have been made and that they are analyzing their portfolio structure and resourcing to ensure they continue to deliver high-value products and services at a reasonable rate of investment. We are actively supporting the Army's decision-making process by providing the key business case relevant facts and information like we are discussing today to all of the key decision makers, including Army leadership, that affect this process. We are confident that once all the factors are analyzed, the result of their analysis will be a positive conclusion for PEO Stride, Team Orlando, and the Army.
We see a lot of discussion in the DoD and other government organizations about technology and artificial intelligence. Can you talk about the technologies that our industry has been investing in, and what are some of the benefits of those developing technologies?
Kate, that's a great question. Artificial intelligence is just one of the technologies that our MS&T industry has been investing in throughout the recent years. AI and digital twin technology play a crucial role in simulation for testing and training. For example, As new fighter planes or weapons are being developed, we can use digital twins to test the capabilities of the system before the actual item is produced. This eliminates the need for several rounds of building prototypes and live testing, which results in a faster deployment of new and improved tools to our warfighters. We can't underestimate the importance of being able to test different scenarios in a rapid and low-cost manner. And then continuing on about digital twin technology, it's really changed the world in terms of optimizing performance of any human system or equipment. One example is how UCF's Institute for Simulation and Training is now collaborating with the semiconductor industry to optimize the clean manufacturing and assembly process right here in Central Florida. Another key use is cybersecurity testing in a closed environment, and the possibilities for digital twin are endless. There are a lot of other important capabilities that rely on simulation technology as well. For example, augmented, virtual, and extended reality. All of us or our kids have played games, and that's where this technology comes from. Other technologies like laser and LiDAR, all of the driverless vehicles that you will be seeing on the road are a result of that technology. Also, much of it developed right here in Central Florida. The animation community between our theme parks and places like EA Sports, which also are collaborated here in Central Florida. In most of these cases, our Central Florida-based ecosystem and workforce is an integral part of the development of these capabilities. Not only do our Team Orlando military units have the expertise, but they can also draw upon our area's immense talent pool. UCF produces more aerospace engineers than any university in the country. They have the first graduate degree and program in modeling and simulation, and they are home to the Institute for Simulation and Training. The university's leadership is openly supportive of the military and willing to tailor programs and degrees to accommodate the DoD's requirements, not to mention the success of their small business incubator, which has assisted in the development of hundreds of startup companies. Finally, we can't underestimate the contribution that UCF and other institutes of higher education like Full Sail University provide to the industry's employment base. The National Center for Simulation, our organization, has over 300 companies, most of whom directly support the simulation industry and Team Orlando. Animation and virtual and augmented reality have their beginnings in the entertainment industry, as I said earlier, and we are situated in the theme park capital of the world. Central Florida is also the operational headquarters of companies like EA Sports. Bottom line, it's taken over 60 years to build this combination of industry, academia, and government. Every community talks about their ecosystem, and I really believe that ecosystem is an overused term most of the time. However, in our case, I think it's a very accurate description.
That is so interesting. Thanks for going into some details. So much happens here in Orlando within this community. Now, for the listeners that don't know about the long history of the MS&T industry, can you tell us how we got here?
It's a long history. It goes all the way back to 1950 when the Army and the Navy signed a joint collaboration agreement that just celebrated its 75th anniversary, and it's the longest collaboration agreement between the Army and Navy in existence. So the Army and the Navy began collaborating in 1950. In the early 60s, they moved that collaboration for simulation and training from Long Island, New York, to what was the Orlando Naval Training Center here in Orlando. As they collaborated, a few years later, both the Marines and the Air Force joined them. And then I believe it was in the early 80s, they had really outgrown their facilities at the old Naval Training Center because they were operating in some small buildings and trailers. And they received some Milcom construction money to build a new headquarters for simulation at the Naval Training Center. Fortunately, some of our political leaders and community leaders at the time got wind of that, and at the same time, between the University of Central Florida and the Orange County business community, they were conspiring to build a research park adjacent to the university. So they approached the Navy and they said, if we give you the 45 acres in the middle of that research park, will you build your simulation headquarters here to be right next to our School of Modeling and Simulation? And the Navy took them up on their offer, built the building, industry followed, and now we have the 6th largest research park in the country that concentrates on modeling and simulation. A couple other things I should probably tell you about. The state of Florida is very supportive of the military. There are 21 bases here in Central Florida. They rank them in terms of economic value to the state, as well as, some other things. And to include, a few years ago, they ranked them on what is their likelihood of being included in a BRAC, should a BRAC happen. BRAC stands for Base Realignment and Closure. Every so often, Congress will enact a base realignment and closure legislation to the military, which forces them to analyze all of their identified bases to see which ones might be eligible for either a realignment or closure for the primary purpose of becoming more efficient and cutting cost. And at that point in time, back in 2012, we were ranked at the top of the list. And the reason we was because we had a real shortage of office space for the military. They had outgrown their original space, and they were leasing space in commercial buildings, and the primary branch of the service that was doing that was the Army. So we identified that weakness in conjunction with the governor, it was Rick Scott at the time, and his Florida Defense Support Task Force, and immediately got the state and the community involved in being able to expand this partnership complex. And over the course of time from 2013 to 15, the state appropriated $42 million to the university and Central Florida to either buy or build another 200,000 square feet of office space. We were able to do that and acquired the Partnership 4 and Partnership 5 buildings. And when you combine that space with the original Partnership 1, 2, and 3 buildings, the state of Florida, since probably early 2000s, has invested $150 million to create 450,000 square feet of office space that is primarily occupied by the military and shared with the University of Central Florida Institute for Modeling and Simulation. That is significant to the military, not only because they can collaborate with their university research personnel here, but the state of Florida does not charge them rent. They only pay their share of common area maintenance and utilities, which allows them to operate at a cost at or below a traditional base. So as we look at some of these decisions that may be coming in the future, we really need to emphasize that point that they can operate cheaper here than they can anywhere else.
That's true. Now, what about LVC?
Live Virtual and Constructive Training, otherwise known as LVC, has been around for a long time in various forms. There are now key strategic programs for the military where they will utilize assets across the state of Florida to prepare for any level of conflict anywhere. These assets include the Gulf of America and the Pine Castle and Avon Park bombing ranges, as well as the simulation technology right here in Central Florida. All branches of the military are able to train and participate in these LVC exercises. The required investment to optimize this training is substantial but very important to national security. One challenge that we are working through with LVC is that we've been made aware that the Navy and the Army on the constructive piece aren't necessarily on the same platforms all the time. So it's important that they will continue to work together to sync that up so to optimize those exercises.
What a great summary of how important MS&T is, especially in Central Florida with its history and impact worldwide. Is there anything you would like to add, maybe about a certain event coming up?
Kate, thanks for asking. We do have one of our featured annual events that are coming up tomorrow, May 9th. Florida Simulation Summit, this is our 11th one, will be held at the Doubletree Hotel adjacent to Universal Studios. And the theme for this year's summit is Smart Decisions, Build Smart Cities. Optimizing operations with AI and simulation. The purpose of the Simulation Summit is to really educate our community on the values of modeling and simulation and how it affects their everyday lives. We have had, again, this is our 11th summit, and we've had a number of different topics that we've had over the years, ranging from medical to construction to cybersecurity to digital twin, all the way to sports training. So this one will be really interesting because it really has a direct effect on our community. We're always happy to join with the Orange County Mayor, and Jerry Demings will be with us tomorrow, and we will have his support throughout the event like we've had for the past several years. And we've also had that support from his predecessor, Mayor Teresa Jacobs. This summit was really started, if you go back to my earlier comments, when we were trying to get the funding from the state of Florida to expand the partnership complex. One of the things that we needed to do was, in order to get community support, was really show the community the value of modeling and simulation, not only to the military, but to them. And this was the idea that we came up with to host this summit open to the general public of the community. So it should be really interesting. You'll get a lot of great insights, see some really cool exhibits, both up close and personal and on the stage. And it's not too late to register. You can register for this event by going to the NCS website at www.simulationinformation.com, and pressing the Florida Simulation Summit button, and it should take you to Eventbrite registration.
Awesome, thank you. We are excited to be attending the Florida Simulation Summit as well. We hope to see everyone there. This podcast is brought to you in part by Virewirx. Introducing VX60 Portable from Virewirx, your ticket to fast, flawless, wireless XR deployment anywhere, anytime. VX60 Portable is a new wireless solution built to support high-fidelity, multi-user XR experiences in mobile environments. Visit virewirx.com/VX60-portable for more information. Their link will be below.
Kate, I'd also like to thank you and the team at Capital Communications for all the support you give our industry on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you. We appreciate that. For everyone listening, to stay up to date on future events in the modeling and simulation community, check out our website, teamorlando.org. You'll also find us on LinkedIn, X, and Facebook for more recent news and upcoming events. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode of AIM on MS&T or being a featured guest, please reach out to Team Orlando News. The link will be below. Again, I'd like to thank George once again for joining us on the podcast today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to follow AIM on MS&T podcast on your platform of choice, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!